Greetings Exiles and welcome to the final evolution of my low-life Righteous Fire Guardian. 8 leaks worth of Righteous Fire builds led us to this moment in particular. After countless nerfs to the Energy Shield variant, we finally managed to get the perfect version of this build going. This one has it all. It's near unkillable with its 20,000 Energy Shield and almost capped block chance. It has high damage reaching 8 million a second with all buffs active, and most importantly, large area of effect. Now just to clarify, the version I'm running over here has some high-end gear. But to be honest, the build would still be godlike even without them. You can potentially get up to 15,000 energy shield with budget items, which is still very good. Or try building this thing in standard and get over 25,000 energy shield instead. Honestly, I do recommend the latter, since putting together this thing is quite annoying and time consuming, in addition to the high amount of currency you will have to spend. So, might as well try it on standard before sinking all of your league currency onto it. Alright, so as a start, I feel like I need to mention this one important thing before going into anything in this build. When you play Energy Shield Righteous Fire, your Energy Shield recharge is basically completely irrelevant. The reason for that is that you are always inflicting damage to yourself with Righteous Fire, and recharge is never going to occur as a result. This means that you have to combat the degen from Righteous Fire with other means, like stacking energy shield regen and life regen, which then you can convert it into more energy shield regen with Zealot's Oath. Now you might think I have wasted some of your time by mentioning that, but trust me, you won't believe the amount of people that talk about energy shield recharge when they play low life Righteous Fire. But so anyway, we are a Guardian, mainly because Guardians boost the defensive stats of any low life build by giving it more physical medication, more life regen, and most importantly, lots of block and almost stun immunity. So we begin with Time of Need. This node makes you semi-immune to curses and gives you a 30% burst regen every 4 seconds. You can utilize this node to sustain Righteous Fire with your life while leveling. Next we have Bastion of Hope. This node maxes out your block chance for 2 seconds every 5 seconds. Now with it, if you have blocked at least a single hit in the past 10 seconds, you become stun immune. Anyway, next we have Radiant Faith, which we only take after we start investing into Energy Shield. Since, like any other low life build, we will be reserving both our life and mana, it only makes sense to take this one since it will provide you with armor based on your reserved life and additional energy shield based on your reserved mana. Finally, we have Unwavering Faith. This node extends the bonuses provided by any aura you run to include a small amount of life regen and physical mitigation. Now we are not focusing on auras in this build, this is not an aura bot build, but still we have like 7 auras in this build with 25% increased effect from both our Ascendancy and the passive tree, which ends up being impactful defense wise. And yeah, that was it for our Ascendancy. Now we want to have as much energy shield as possible, not only because it's good for defense, but also because Righteous Fire deals additional damage based on our maximum energy shield, not just life. Thus, we need to stack as much intelligence and a flat energy shield as possible to achieve that. As a result, our passive tree is focused all around these things, starting with intelligence, which is not very hard to get with the well-planned passive tree. 3.16 also added many interesting damage options, which takes form in some mastery choices and the new dot damage nodes on the passive tree. Aside from all of these things, we have 2 large cluster jewels adding any amount of passives, preferably 10. These jewels have no notables on them and instead focuses on giving us as much benefits from the smaller nodes by scaling their effect and then rolling other efficient energy shield mods like intelligence and flat energy shield. By the way, this setup works with both 25% and 35% increased effect. Now let's talk about items. As a start, you cannot play this build without Chevron's chest piece. When you are on low life, you risk getting one-shotted by chaos damage, and this chest prevents that by making chaos damage unable to bypass your energy shield. Our Shavs has +1 to the level of socketed gems corruption. It gives us like 10% more damage in this build overall. Our next item is a scepter with fire damage over time multiplier. That alongside crafted fire damage, mana, and aspect of the spider. Aside from these things, having burning damage and other damage modifiers is optional. Our next item is a rare Helm with both 10% increased intelligence and nearby enemies have -9 to their fire resistance. I crafted both mods on a base with Righteous Fire has 24% increased area of effect. Aside from that, we try to get as much energy shield as possible. Next we have a Marble Amulet with also increased intelligence and 20% of fire damage over time multiplier. After combining these two mods, I removed all of my prefixes and then started spamming Exalted Orbs on it until I got a decent energy shield prefix. After that I multi-modded into increased maximum energy shield and AoE and area damage. Lastly, I used my oils to anoint Arsonist for that extra damage and regen boost. So next we have Shavron's Revelation unique ring. Place this one in your right ring slot for that massive boost to energy shield regen. The ring also provides a decent amount of intelligence and maximum mana, all that at the cost of inhibiting your mana regeneration. Our second ring is a rare one with lots of intelligence, resistances, and increased maximum energy shield if possible. Make sure to craft 6% of damage reoccupied as mana, since it will be the only way of you recovering mana while you have Shavron's Revelation in your other ring slot. Our next item is a pair of boots with movement speed, intelligence, and lots of energy shield and resistances. Try to get the 2% life regen lab enchant if you have been hit recently. Next we have a mirror tier build that I have personally mirrored from TFT. Shout out to these guys for working hard to provide us exiles with some of the best items that this game has ever seen. Anyway, this build has increased maximum energy shield, increased energy shield recovery rate, increased attributes, and tier 0 intelligence roll, which can be only crafted with essences, and that's basically why this build is mirror tier. Our next item is a pair of gloves with as much energy shield and intelligence as possible. Finally, we have a mirror tier shield with almost 600 energy shield. It also has life regen, reduced reservation for socketed gems, and crafted reduced damage taken from damage over time. You could possibly go with Sappho's frame route and try to maximize your elemental resistances, which will end up being more tanky at the end at the cost of some damage. But with that being said, we are basically done with our items. Now let's talk about gems. For our main 6 link we have Val Righteous Fire, Awakened Burning Damage Support, Awakened Elemental Focus, Level 4 Empower, and Efficacy. After that we use Awakened Increased Area of Effect support for mapping and Concentrated Effect for bossing. Our next setup includes our life reservation gems. They start with Malevolence, Level 1 Clarity, Arrogance Support, and Level 3 Enlighten. Next we have a 4-link damage support setup. It begins with Scorching Ray, then Infused Channeling, Flammability. All those are linked with Divergent Inspiration for reducing our mana cost as much as possible. Next we have a 3-link mana reservation setup. This one goes in our shield to benefit from the reduced reservation modifier. So we start with Purity of Fire, then summon Skitterbots, and Val Discipline. Last but not least we have a 3-link setup with few leftover gems, starting with Vitality, Level 1 Precision, and Portal Gem. The remaining sockets you have left are used for whatever movement skill setup you like. Just remember to link your movement skill with Arcane Surge to get that benefit from your belt enchant. And yeah, that was basically it for our gems. Now let's talk about jewels. We are using some very expensive unique jewels. Our Watcher's Eye, for example, has both increased maximum energy shield from mana while affected by Clarity, and increased damage over time multiplier while affected by Malevolence. Getting increased energy shield recovery rate can be better for defensive purposes, but we want to have as much damage and area of effect as possible. Next we have Emperor's Mastery unique jewel. This one increases both our maximum attributes and global defenses. Both are a great way for increasing our maximum energy shield. Last but not least we have Unnatural Instinct. Place this one in this specific socket to benefit from all the nearby area of effect nodes that you now get their benefit for free without having to spend passive points for them. Any remaining jewel socket you have left should be filled with a normal rare jewel like this one. It's important to prioritize maximum energy shield first, and then complementing your missing resistances. After that, having as many damage modifiers like increased fire damage and burning damage, or just flat out having intelligence on the jewel is a nice thing to have. Now for Pantheons, we take the Soul of the Brine King for its freeze immunity, and the Soul of Tokuhama for that added physical mitigation and life regen while stationary. For Bandits, we are not going to help any of them as we really need as many passive points as we can have. And yeah, that was basically it for our godly low life Righteous Fire build. Knowing GG, they will probably nerf it next league, so take advantage and try it now while you still can. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.